Today, we're going to be talking about 10 unnecessary things that you probably have in your life but don't need and can declutter right now. Hey guys, my name is Ashlynne, and on this channel I make videos 3 times a week about minimalism and intentional living. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, definitely be sure to do so below. Like I said, we're talking about the 10 unnecessary things that you probably have lying around somewhere in your house. I know that most of us do, and that you can declutter right now. So as I'm watching this video, go ahead and feel free to declutter these things along with me as we talk about them. Let's go ahead and jump in and start off with talking about the first one. So the first thing that you can declutter right now is mismatched or warped food containers. I think a lot of us have kind of mismatched Tupperware and Rubbermaid and all of these different types of food containers that we have amalgamated over the years, and we have mismatched like lids and tubs and everything like that, or they get warped. You put them in the dishwasher and they just contort their shape and suddenly you can't close your food container anymore. I think that reusable food containers are a great thing and that we should have them in our lives, but if if it doesn't go together, why keep it around? So definitely just go ahead and sort through your food containers, figure out what fits, what doesn't, get rid of anything that doesn't fit, that doesn't work, and then just simplify to what you have that works and that fits and use those. Okay, number 2 is old mail. I think that having a mail stack is a common thing for a lot of people. We pick up coupons and magazines and catalogs and all kinds of things that we just keep around in our lives forever. We say that we're going to look at the magazine, we say that we're going to use the coupon, and time passes and we don't. So definitely be sure to go through your mail, sort through what is relevant, what isn't, and get rid of anything that isn't relevant. Also, even if it is a magazine that you've read and that you really enjoyed, I would suggest after a period of 6 months or a year, or sooner than that really, just going ahead and letting that go. I think for me it's probably a month. If I haven't read the magazine, by the end of the month it's gonna go. So definitely go ahead and go through your old mail. Number 3 is old cell phones that you've long since replaced. I think because we invest a lot of money into our electronics and especially into our cell phones, it can be really tempting to want to keep them around even after we've upgraded to a newer version of our phone. So like maybe you still have an iPhone 3 or an iPhone 4 from back in the day when you bought that, and you've long since replaced your older phone, but maybe you still have it laying around your house. At this point, it's definitely not going to be serving a purpose in your life, and even though it might have been really expensive when you first bought it, it really doesn't have a lot of value anymore. It's really just not worth it to keep it around in your life. Yeah, you might have sentimental attachment to it, yeah, you invested a lot of money into it, but it's not serving a purpose in your life anymore, so it's really just best to let that go. Number 4 is greeting cards, and I think that it is a huge tendency, especially for girls, to want to hold on to any type of letter or anything like that that they receive. Greeting cards, birthday cards, wedding cards, everything like that. They hold this like huge sentimental attachment for us, and it's really hard for us to let them go. What I would say to this is like, think about when was the last time that you put a lot of effort into a birthday card? When was the last time you put a ton of effort into a greeting card? I think that for the majority of us, it tends to be just things that we like jot out, like, happy birthday, sending love, whatever. And so what I guess I would say is I'm not necessarily recommending that you declutter every single card that you're ever sent, because we do occasionally receive cards that are really thought through, they're really intentional, the person kind of pours into your life and really blesses you with the words that they share. And I think in that type of case, it's okay to hold on to a card like that, especially if you're the kind of person who goes back through and looks at those cards and rereads the words that people have written. But if it is a kind of canned saying, if it's not super thought through, if it's not really personal, definitely it's okay to go ahead and get rid of that thing. So moving on to number 5, while cards are definitely hard to get rid of because they're sentimental, this one shouldn't be, and it's mismatched socks. I think that it's time for all of us to realize that if it has been a week or 2 and you still haven't found that other sock, you're probably never going to be finding it, and it's okay to declutter it. I think that it's important maybe like once a season or so just to go through your socks really quickly. It takes 2 minutes and just go through them, figure out if there are any mismatched socks, and if you can't find the mismatch, go ahead and declutter it. I don't know where socks disappeared to. My mom told me that there were little like elves that would come and steal the socks when I was younger, or she would say that they spreaded feet and walked away. But at any rate, our socks do have a tendency to disappear sometimes, and if you can't find the other, just declutter the mismatched sock. Okay, number 6 is declutter your VHS and cassette tapes. I know a lot of people who still have these around, and a lot of those same people don't have a cassette player and they don't have a VHS player. And my question is then, why do you still own them? Because you don't actually even have a way that you can play them. And I think it's really cool if you have a bunch of movies that you love, or, you know, old music that you love that you want to listen to. So I guess what I would suggest for this then is, if it's really meaningful to you, definitely go ahead and digitize it before decluttering it. But if it's a movie that you don't even care about that much, get rid of it. If it's music that you haven't listened to but don't really plan on listening to it again, or if you can listen to it on Spotify, declutter that too. So definitely go through this area of your life. If it's still applicable to you, me being a millennial, my parents have some of that stuff, but I got rid of it a long time ago. Number 7 is product manuals, and I think that so many of us try to hold on to these thinking that we'll use them, but if we're totally honest with ourselves, we really never do. In the vast majority of circumstances, Google can probably tell you the answer to your question about how to fix something faster than it would take to find your product manual. So in this digital age, I don't really think that there's a ton of a need for a product manual. I mean, do you really need to be explained how to use a knife set? Or, you know, blenders are really self-explanatory. So yeah, maybe read the instructions initially and then get rid of the product manual. Once you know how to use it, you don't need to relearn it. Number 8 is your collection of paper or plastic bags. So I don't actually keep plastic bags anymore because I use reusable or paper bags, but I know that a lot of people do still use plastic bags, and they'll literally just keep them in these like massive containers, just like stuffed full of plastic bags that they have no hope of ever using. These bags definitely can multiply fast, and even me, who only uses, you know, reusable and sometimes paper bags if I forgot my reusable bags, you know, I have paper bags and those still multiply fast. Definitely that kind of thing can increase exponentially, and even if you have a use for them, like I know my family uses paper bags to, you know, carry away lawn waste, or my parents do. And I use them to store my recycling in before I recycle it. But that type of stuff does multiply a lot faster than we use it. So definitely figure out what to do with that. If you have a ton of plastic bags, definitely there are places where you can recycle that all over the place. I know that if you're in the United States, Target, Harris Teeter, most grocery stores have, you know, facilities, and they'll have a drop-off area where you can recycle your plastic bags. And if you have paper bags, those are all recyclable as well. Definitely go ahead and get rid of those. Keep a few aside if you do use them, but other than that, it's okay to get rid of them. Number 9 is chipped mugs and dishes, and I feel like a lot of us will tend to keep a mug, a dish, whatever it is, even after it's gotten a chip in it, and that really isn't safe, especially if it's like a mug or something like that. You can definitely cut your mouth or whatever, but also it just ruins the look of the rest of your dishes, and you probably have enough that you can get by without it. If not, buy a replacement, but I really wouldn't suggest keeping those around in your house. And number 10, for those of us who have decluttered a large amount of our lives, it can be very, very easy for us to keep around just old storage boxes or containers. If you've decluttered your life, what I would really suggest is to get rid of those, because that really is just you asking for extra clutter to come into your life. I feel like there's this subconscious idea that we have that if we have empty boxes, we need to have something to fill them with, which is wrong. So yeah, if you have that kind of thing in your life, I would definitely recommend just letting it go. Okay guys, well that is everything. Those are 10 items that you probably have in your life but that you really don't need. And I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know if you decluttered any of these items below. I would love to hear about your successes, and I think that I don't know, this was really a helpful practice for me to go through, because it's true that there really are a lot of items in our lives that we can sometimes hold on to without really there being a good reason at all for holding on to them. So yeah, definitely go ahead and let me know about your successes in the comments below. I hope you guys have a fantastic day today. Remember to subscribe below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.